It's snowing so much. People are like surprised that it's snowing in March. I'm like, guys, it's been snowing in March for the past 5 years. Like, it's no longer surprising. It's been a thing. But yeah, it's so pretty. Hi guys, my name is Steve. This is Heroine's Corner. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a very small haul for you guys. So when I mean small, I mean very small. These aren't all the books I've hauled since my last book haul. I do not remember when that was. But these are just some books I've gotten recently. And when I mean recently, I mean the last 4 weeks. Some of them this week. 3 of them are ARCs, and the other 3 are like books that I bought through gift cards. I haven't really been buying books like at all for the last year. Because that was kind of like my own personal thing that I wanted to do, just really cut down the book buying, because as you can see. So yeah, let's just get straight on to the book haul, guys, and please remember to follow me on Twitter. It's Heroine's Corner. But without further ado, let's talk about the books. So the first book I'm going to be talking about today is actually a poetry collection, and it's the only book that's not written by a Black British author out of the books I'm going to be talking about today, and that is Plot by Claudia Rankine. And this poetry collection has already been published. It was published in 2001, but Penguin is publishing it in the UK at the end of March. I think it's like the 30th of March this year, and I was sent a copy of it. Claudia Rankine is a well-known poet. She was born in Jamaica, but she moved to the US and she did her education in the US, and she's been writing in the US for decades now. And this was her kind of like breakout collection, I would say. So it follows a couple and their baby, and their baby is like unborn. Like, it's kind of like a journey of pregnancy, so we're following like the mother, following the father, and then we're also following like the baby to be. Claudia Rankine charts a couple's journey through their dreams, fears, dialogues, and hesitations of a pregnancy. So this sounds very interesting. Of course, I haven't read any Claudia Rankine poetry, so I'm very intrigued to see that if I'm going to love it as well as it seems like everyone else like does. Also, when I typed in like this poetry collection online and just Claudia Rankine online, I saw that we share the same birthday, which is kind of great. 4th of September, which means like, I don't know, I feel like I'm already like attached somehow. But yeah, I'm just really excited to read this quote unquote masterpiece, as Mary Gordon says in this blurb. So yeah, the next arc I've received recently is Quiet Storm by Kimberly Whittam, and this is being published by Osborne on the 8th of June 2023. And yeah, so this is a middle grade, a tender, empowering novel about family, friendship, and finding confidence in who you are. So in this book we follow Storm, and Storm is in year 7, and she's just very quiet. She's a very kind of introverted girl, and everyone tells her to kind of like speak up and to be louder and to just use her voice, but that's just not who she is. She doesn't like the spotlight. But then one day she is on the athletics team and she breaks like a historical like score record, and suddenly she's like thrust into the spotlight where she doesn't want to be, and she's just finding it very weird being there, and she's not used to having so much attention put on her, and like her friendships are kind of spiraling out of control, and so on and so forth. So this is just about her just learning to find her voice and to find herself. So this is what Kimberly Whittam said about A Quiet Storm. I wrote Quiet Storm for children who struggle with shyness, children who don't speak up no matter how much they want to. It's also a celebration of the chaotic yet joyous tribulations that occur every day in classrooms across the country. It's like nice to have a book that's for the quieter, like shyer children. I always considered myself shy, but everyone else did. Everyone's like, no, you're definitely not shy. But I'm very introverted, so I felt very just like shy like internally. So I'm very excited to read this ode to quiet children. Also, the next book I received from Osborne Children's was My Name is Sunshine Simpson by G.M. Linton, and it comes out the 11th of May 2023. This book is also about like a pre-teenager finding her voice when everything's kind of going wrong like in her life at the moment. So it says her new friend Evie is becoming a frenemy, and her haircut is a disaster, and the school showcase is stressful, especially with her granddad, and the granddad seems to to be a very key figure in this book, getting older every week. Sunshine needs to find her voice, but can she break through the clouds to stand tall, stand proud, and show the world how she can shine? And as you see here, it's supposed to be a series, so that's very interesting that it is a series. So I'm wondering like if we're going to follow her, like how, I don't know, kind of like what chunks of time we're going to be following her like through the series. I love like Sunshine's little design as well, and I love her name, like Sunshine Simpson. Like, good on you, author, for picking such like a lovely middle grade name. Okay, let's go on to the books that I've like personally like went out and bought. First, I'm going to talk about Mame by Jessica George, and this is a buildings romance for people in their mid-20s. So I don't know if I should really talk about this book too much because it's kind of a bit everywhere, but essentially we follow Maddie, and Maddie has been like the carer for her father and just like the elder daughter of like the family. So obviously she's carrying just like a lot of responsibility and a lot of like just maturity, and she hasn't been able to be the woman that she wants to be. She was still living at home with her parents, and then she kind of gets the opportunity to become the woman she's always wanted to be, and to wear the bright yellow suit and to just do what she wanted to do and have a love life and all these sort of things. So it's kind of covering like the basic topics of like this type of book. We have friendships, we have like love relationships, we have like family. I'm not too far into it, so I started reading it about like 2 weeks ago. I put it down for one reason or another. I am going to pick it up again this week because I do kind of just want to finish it. There's some books that you just want to finish the story, essentially. Like, that should be all books really, but it isn't. Anyway, I want to just, finish and say like, okay, I've read it, because I know it's going to be like a decent read, so let me just, finish the decent read book. Another book I was talking about recently on my channel is Rose and the Burma Sky by Rosanna and Amaka. This is one of my anticipated reads of 2023. I love what the design team did on here with it being rose gold, like lettering, like foiling, whatever. Like, it's rose gold coloring on the letters, which I really love. Also, this is a very short book, 250 pages, which I wasn't expecting because it's like historical fiction. Historical fiction is generally a little bit longer, but I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? If people want to be writing 250 page books, I'm very happy with that. I'm very, very, like, please do that. So the book starts in Nigeria in 1939, and we follow Obi, who's kind of drawn to the army because you get a smart uniform, you get regular wages, and also he wants to impress kind of like his sweetheart Rose. But as we follow the story on, we see kind of the horrors, the tragedies of World War II. We see the unrequited love story between himself and Rose, and just we see warfare through the eyes of Obi. And I've never read a book about like a Nigerian soldier's experience in World War II. Obviously this is historical fiction, but I just haven't like read that perspective before, which I'm very intrigued to actually read about. Also, I love Rosanna Amaka's writing. I loved her first novel, so I'm just happy to read her second novel and to like actually have it in my hands. It was a very giddy bookshop trip when I bought this book. So last but not least, we have Theatre of Marvels by Leanne Dillsworth, and this is a historical fiction YA, and we follow, set in Victorian London, and we follow Zilla, and she's kind of like the star act of this stage show, star billing on the London stage, and it's her ticket to get out of the slums. But then there's another act that kind of joins the show, and she believes that the woman is kind of in danger, and like other acts seem to be disappearing, and she's kind of just trying to untangle the mystery about like what is happening with this show and its acts, and like should she be scared for herself. This book actually came out last year. It was one of my like anticipated books of 2022, but I just could never like get a hold of it, and I think I was waiting for the paperback to come out, which it just did. Like, so the paperback is out if you want to get Theatre of Marvels, but I think I was waiting for the paperback. But then when I was just like in the bookstore, just like browsing, like passing time, I saw that the hardback was like on sale for 50%. I was like, let me get this gorgeous hardback, like please. Like, I barely get hardbacks just because they're so expensive, but like if it's not my money, if it's like gift card money, or if it's like very discounted, then I will get like the hardback. So voila. So you guys know I absolutely adore historical fiction and Victorian London historical fiction. Like, I read Bones of Ruin 2 years ago by Sarah Rowley, I believe. Like, the author's name escapes me, but that's historical fiction, but it's kind of like historical fiction with like fantasy like poured in there, and I really enjoyed it. And I really just enjoyed the scene, like the Victorian, you know, London kind of setting. So I was really hoping to read this last year to kind of like build on that interest that I have, and I just didn't, but now I do. It's a big book. It's a very big book, over 400 pages for a YA novel, but it's historical fiction, so I'm kind of taking that into account. But also have like this like map like here and at the back, and it's printed onto the like cardboard, which I appreciate. Also, look at that. Isn't that pretty as well? Like, I'm loving foil at the moment. I wonder if it's environmentally friendly. So here we go, guys. We have free hardbacks, free paperbacks, free ARCs, free already released books that you guys can go and pick up if you want to. And in fact that 5 out of 6 of these books are Black British is always like a lovely bonus for me personally. Always love supporting Black British authors. So yeah, there you go. Please let me down below. Please let me down below. What? Please let me know down below if you've heard of any of these books, if you've picked up any of these books, if you've read any of these books. It's really going to be like the free hardbacks, because unless you've like received an ARC yourself, or please tell me whatever book you've picked up recently. I'd love to know what your recent book purchase was. Always interested in like what's the thing that people are buying. Is it the classics? Is it the new releases? You never know. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Twitter. It is Heroine's Corner. But I'll see you guys soon in another video soon. Bye.